What's up guys, it's Danny, and today we're taking a closer look at the LEGO Creator Expert Super Pro Plus Max Ultra UCS LEGO RMS Titanic. Okay, I think we need to zoom out a little bit. This is the longest LEGO set ever, beating out the LEGO Star Wars Super Star Destroyer by 3 inches. And with 12,090 pieces, it takes the cake for the largest LEGO set, beating out the previous contender, the world map, with a measly 11,695 pieces. And the one before that, the LEGO Creator Expert Coliseum, with 9,036 pieces. But it's actually not quite as heavy as the UCS Falcon, short of about 5 pounds. With so many bricks, you're probably wondering how long it took. And so, I'll tell you. With 3 people constantly building, well, almost constantly building, it took 7 hours. So for an individual, this would probably take 20 to 22 hours, depending on your BPM. But even more daunting than the size of the ship is the price. This thing will set you sailing on a path to credit card debt with a price tag of $630 plus tax, rounding the corner and sliding into home base under the $700 mark. If you weren't financially sinking already, well then consider this your iceberg. But that money is money well spent when you consider that you're only paying 5 cents per piece, and you get these black sausage elements as anchor pieces. I mean, is there really anything better than that? Space. Having enough space to display it is definitely better than that. To prepare for this insane piece of art, I had to empty 8 feet of shelf space because a lot of these sets were connected and I wanted to take them down anyways, but you will need at least 4 feet of shelf space, 18 inches of height, and about 10 inches of depth to display this ship. As for the build experience, I assembled the Titanic team of T-Fuls to divide and conquer, as this set is optimized for team building. I mean, like, building with a team. With 3 separate boxes and instruction manuals, we were able to build the 3 sections of the ship simultaneously. This was all done live here on the Danny Bob channel. I estimated that we'd take 8 hours to complete, but I figured we'd probably get slowed down by fatigue, hunger, and Josh.
Like, do not leave
in there. But it went faster than expected, especially in the middle segments. Those went up very quickly. Each box has 2 segments that combine together, and in the end, you end up with these 3 mega segments that get connected with 2 keys that hold it all together by threading the needle in each deck. The cool thing about our team build was that we rotated in our 2 substitutes, and thus we got to work on different parts of the ship. So I ended up building part of the bow, part of the engines, a few of the deck layers of the midsection, and 2 of the smokestacks. Each time someone finished a bag, we would play rock, paper, scissors to determine who would get to keep building. And let's just say the odds were in my favor. Or maybe people just like me being on the stream.
What does she bring to the table that we don't?
Intelligence and humor. Now there are a ton of amazing little details within this build that I don't want to spoil for you, but if you want to know all these details, then I highly recommend checking out Mr. TC himself. Tiago Catarino has a full breakdown and beautiful expose detailing everything from the packaging to the build experience. And while you're hitting the subscribe button on Tiago's channel, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on this video if you like big boats, and subscribe for lots more LEGO news, build reviews, and shopping hauls. Now this set is a Creator Expert, which happens to be my first set from this theme. And one thing that I really loved was that there were no stickers. Instead, they've printed all of these elements. Additionally, there is an American flag and a British flag and tons of rope elements. Oddly enough, one of our rope elements was much too long for the smokestacks, so I've requested this from lego.com. I'm also not sure if this happened to anyone else out there, but we tried swapping out the top line, and it seems like we just got the wrong length in the bag. It's not a huge deal, I just wrapped them around for the time being, but it definitely looks weird. But I do love how the boat is in micro scale, so you have little lifeboats, little cranes, little benches, little illegal building techniques. Wait, what? Yeah, so apparently this is okay now? I think my favorite parts usage, aside from the anchors, are the telephones. I have no idea what these are called, but I know exactly what they're supposed to be. Also, the way the stacks are fitted in at this angle is excellent. Now let's open this thing up. So there are 2 keys that you can pull out, and this is going to unlock all 3 mega segments of the ship. And looking inside, it is just astonishing how many layers of decking there are and how much detail they actually put into each floor. So as you can see, there's little rooms and beds and even like furniture, grand staircases, etc. But my favorite part is definitely the engine room, and you can pull these 2 engines out and manually twist the gear to show how the pistons are bobbing up and down. This to me is just so cool. It was a very complicated part of the build, but it definitely turned out well. So when you actually put this back together inside and you turn it, you can't turn turn it from the outside of the ship, of course. It has to be taken apart like this, but it does actually turn the propellers on the outside. As far as I know, you cannot move that middle one, but this is accurate that they are powered by their own engines. That's actually in the source material that they included in the instruction manual. The rudder also moves, but not by any mechanics. It's really just on hinges, so you could position it if you wanted to. As for the other decks, some of them even include pools, and all of these added features just make it look like a luxurious cruise back in 1912. The instructions actually included quite a few pages of historical information, along with a very well organized system for highlighting each part of the build. Starting with the bow and the well deck, the bridge and the funnel and main cabin, the funnel and compass, the funnel and engine room, and the stern and well deck. Up top, there are 16 lifeboats. Technically, there were 20 aboard the RMS Titanic, but I can't imagine building 4 more of those things. They were a little bit tedious, but there's just so many details. I think the thing that took the longest was actually the windows along the sides. Towards the front, the bow of the ship, there is the helm where the captain is able to steer the ship from. And to the left and to the right of that, you see red and green representing port and starboard. To put it back together, you simply just line it back up and thread the keys back in. I think the interlocking threaded needle system here to hide the way that this is actually put together is so ingenious. Without building this, you would never even know. Looking at the outside, you can barely see the seam of where that actually splits apart. And then you just have so much detail from the railing to all of the portholes and the windows. There's just so much going on with the deck. You could seriously look at this for an hour and just admire all of the tiny details. And lastly are the 6 wooden feet. Not actually wooden, they're Lego, but they look like they are wooden feet to rest the ship on top of. They lock in with an axle pin on the bottom, and they do a very nice job of dispersing the weight. And the nameplate, which reuses the same Lego typewriter elements for all of the lettering, which I think does the job, but of course it is a reused piece. So my final thoughts on this set are that it is a massive undertaking, and you have to have actual space to display it. So for that reason, I don't think it's for everyone. There's going to be a percentage of people who are extremely enthusiastic about building Lego, and this is definitely something to be proud of. Now, despite it being out of stock online at lego.com, I do think that it will take some time for this to really become the most popular set, just because it's large, it has that novel title, and people are going to want to collect it. But as for actually building it, I would say that it is the most enjoyable building experience out of all of the large Lego sets that I've ever built. So that is just about it, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this set, if you plan to collect it. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Happy building.